I think that certainly no one would deny that stress is a huge part of the divorce process. But interestingly enough, there's often not much focus on taking care of stress specifically for everybody in the family during a divorce. Too often parents totally ignore that issue, and it's one of the primary culprits in terms of conflict, misunderstandings, just flat out distress and depression. Stress plays a huge role, and when you consider what stress is, really at its core, stress is basically our reaction to change. And you can look for some things that are more significant than divorce in regard to life change, but I can tell you that the only thing I believe is more significant in terms of change than divorce is death of a loved one. And essentially, divorce is death. It's the death of a relationship and the death of family as we've known it. And the second important thing to keep in mind in regard to stress is the issue of control. Because when we're in situations where we feel out of control, our stress levels go through the roof. And you think about a time when you've been most stressed and you're going to decide that certainly control was an issue. You feel helpless in some situations, feel powerless, feel like other people are trying to control you. Now this is really important in divorce because one of the most significant stress management tools that we can use is to gain a sense of control. That's find as many things as possible that you can put together back to back to back that you can control, and your stress levels will automatically begin to come down. The problem in divorce is that too often what we try to control is the other parent, our ex-spouse, and that never works. As human beings, we have some pretty predictable patterns of behavior. And one of those patterns of behavior is when we feel out of control, immediately we try to control something. It's natural because that's the best way to bring stress levels down. We try to control something. Too often in a divorce, what happens is we try to control the other person. Well, and the same is true for our kids. We can't control our kids either. And when we try to control them, they resist. And certainly your ex-spouse will resist if you try to control them. So I try to work with parents as much as possible to help them see this for a couple of reasons. One, so they understand themselves and why they're choosing to do things, but also so they understand what's going on with their ex, because I believe that knowledge is power, and the more we understand, the better off we are in the long run, and the more able we are to deal with whatever situation we're in. So trying to understand the other person is extremely important. And in regard to that, I try to follow Stephen Covey's famous quote, and that is, seek first to understand and then to be understood. And when we do that in relationships, whether it's in a marriage, a romantic relationship, relationships at work, and certainly in divorce, when we seek first to understand and then to be understood, we're much better off. So if you understand that your ex is going through their own stress and their own issues related to this divorce, their own grief, when you understand that, you're much better off and much better able to move forward in a productive manner.